Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Lightning Strikes, and that is because there is going to be a rather noisy new start occurring somewhere in the world right about now. And that is because there are 6 planets in the dynamic, fast-acting fire signs. That is 60% of all the planets up there. And they are trining each other, which means their energy is flowing unrestricted in a way that can help and fortify every single one of those 6 planets. The reason why lightning can strike is because there are 3 of the 6 planets in only one sign, Aries, the sign of new beginnings. But 2 of them are malefic planets, and they are exactly conjuncting each other. So Mars and Uranus, and Mars rules war and aggression, and Uranus rules sudden surprising change, are both at the same degree, and then Venus is also in the sign later on in Aries. And so those 3 planets are being trined by 3 more planets. Today, the Moon and Saturn are both conjuncting each other closely in Sagittarius, which rules the courts, foreign countries, all international legal bodies, and it rules higher education, and it rules travel, particularly long-distance travel, and anything that's happening in foreign countries. And so it rules the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. And those 2 planets are trining the 3 in Aries, and they are being trined also by Jupiter in Leo. So that's the 6 planets in fire signs that are really supercharged right now. And that's why I think a noisy new beginning can be underway. And that is because Mars is the dominant planet. It rules Aries, and it also rules jealousy and hate and greed, and it rules aggression and war. But it's an energizing planet. So if you were wanting to make a new beginning, you certainly would have the energy to do it right now, and perhaps some pretty good motivation as well, as we have to prepare for sudden change that can be occurring with lightning speed right now. And that is because those 3 planets in Aries are being backed up and fortified by Jupiter in Leo, which represents leadership. So there can be harmony among leaders right now and consensus about some sort of dynamic new start. And also the Moon ruling women and mothers, and Saturn ruling authority figures or fathers, are both closely conjunct in Sagittarius, which rules religion and the higher mind. So parents can be agreeing on sort of taking a higher path right now, or doing the right thing, and so can authority figures be quite willing to do that as well. And those are supporting those planets in Aries. So the unfortunate thing is that all 3 malefic planets are trining each other, Saturn, Mars, and Uranus, giving a lot of impetus to somebody with evil intent that may want to just do things their way. And so I think that they're going to get something off the ground, which is too bad, because that could end up really hurting somebody. But it is not something that will succeed in the end, I don't think. So right now, somebody gets the go-ahead signal. Somebody or an organization or even a country gets some sort of go-ahead signal right now, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to go forward. At the same time, the Sun and Neptune in Pisces are squaring that Moon and Saturn in Sagittarius. When the Sun and the Moon square or oppose each other, there is indecision or confusion. So somebody can be getting their wires crossed, or there can be some mixed messages right now that are not coming through very clearly, or they could be garbled. So we have that to look forward to as well. And then also, there is the possibility with Mercury, the planet of the mind, being at the fateful 29th degree of Aquarius, which rules the future, that some sort of plan or description or document will have to be rewritten or revised, since the future could be getting revised as well due to sudden lightning changes right now. So all three of those things, the fact that somebody gets a green light, the fact that someone else is operating under crossed wires or under confusion or mixed messages, and the fact that something has to get rewritten or revised right now, all of those things are happening at the same time in the next week. So what could possibly be missing? Well, the one important thing that is missing is money. And that is the reason why, if there is some sort of noisy new beginning happening with lightning speed very, very quickly in a surprising way, it may not last. And that is because there isn't going to be any money to really fund it or back it for a prolonged period. And the reason why is that Pluto in Capricorn, ruling authority figures in government agencies or large corporations, is being harshly squared by those three planets in Aries: Mars, Uranus, and Venus. Pluto and Mars and Uranus are all at the same degree. It is an exact harsh square. But Pluto and Mars are the rulers of Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed financial sign that rules credit, debt, taxes, insurance proceeds, grants, inheritance, or money coming from any other source. So it could be a partner of yours or an employer of yours. And the problem is, with the rulers of Scorpio being so harshly aspected right now, it simply means that there isn't going to be any money for something. In other words, if someone has been promised some money, it certainly may not be delivered now. And that in itself could cause a lightning strike. Because if somebody is saying, hey, let's do this, or let's grab something, or be motivated by greed to do something with evil intent, they could certainly surge forward right now. They would have the energy and the backing to do that. But the problem is that unless they conform to strict rules and regulations for long-term security, they're not going to get any investment backing or any kind of loan or any money coming in at all. And so what's promised may not be delivered, as I said. And that is why, if there were some mercenaries in the world that had been promised payment and they didn't get it, they could certainly generate some sort of eruption right now, and they may even be so angry, because their anger would not abate if they weren't paid, that they could revolt, or they could switch sides very quickly with lightning speed, and that would certainly cause some sort of problem as well. And so this is a time of danger, and it's going to be that way all week. And this is why you need to really watch out for your safety and be very, very cautious this week. Don't take a gamble with anything, even if you feel like it, because I can guarantee you there won't be any money paid out, even if it's promised to you, because it's not going to happen this week. And that is why I think the end result will be that the mob could turn against its master this week, and it could be deadly. And that is why we have to be very, very careful. And certainly this is not a good time to fly, because Uranus is involved, and Uranus does rule space travel. And with Uranus and Mars being so close together, it could indicate cyber warfare that is propagated with lightning speed right now. And that's why I think lightning strikes. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think you can be so energized that you can decide you're just going to do things your way no matter what. And that would certainly all work out. You could get a green light to go ahead on something right now, Aries. And you could have the harmony of other people backing you up and loyal friendship as well. All of that would be great. But the problem is that Pluto in Capricorn is squaring the three dynamic planets in your sign: Mars, your own ruler, and Uranus, and Venus as well. Mars, Uranus, and Pluto are all at the same degree, so the aspect is precise. And that simply means, since Pluto represents authority figures who want things to be done sort of according to the rules and regulations, and that is coming up against your dynamic energy and your enthusiasm, I think that what you'll have to do is sort of relent a little bit and try to listen to other people who may have money and certainly would be interested in investing as long as you followed the rules. I don't think you're going to be in the mood to do that, Aries. So if you were deciding that you were just going to do things your way, I would suggest that you at least do them in a new location, Aries. So this would be a good time to travel or a good time to move on. You really could get another job just in the blink of an eye with lightning speed. So while the stars are with you, with 6 planets and fire signs, I would try to light out for greener pastures right now, Aries, while you can do it. So do make some sort of move that will make you happier instead of always trying to buck the establishment. Leave them alone and just get out on your own, because you're never going to have a better chance to strike out on your own than right now and sort of get things your way. But it won't happen where you are. You're going to have to go somewhere else. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time when I think you can be really, really busy behind the scenes. And the reason why it could be behind the scenes is because that's where Mars and Uranus and Venus, your own ruler, are. Venus is nearing the end of Aries. It is coming into your sun sign soon, which is good because it's going to be very strong in your sun sign. But for right now, Taurus, I think you've got so much going on in the background of your life with those 3 planets behind your sun sign that you could actually undergo some sort of shocking surprise this week, Taurus. And it could be something that you didn't think was at all possible, but it could happen anyway. You could be affected by it. It may not happen to you. It may happen to somebody who is a friend of yours or someone who is a loved one, and they could be landing a shocking surprise on your doorstep, Taurus, and you would just have to deal with it. Not everyone would see it because it was in the background of your life, but it could really make you sit up and take notice. And remember, some money that can be promised may not be delivered right now, and that means that even though Pluto in Capricorn is trining your sun, Taurus, even your long-term assets could be threatened right now. And that is because they're represented by Pluto in Capricorn, and that planet is taking a beating from the 3 in Aries. So I think you are going to get a shocking surprise this week, Taurus. And what I suggest, since yours is a fixed financial sign, I suggest that you just sit down and think about everything slowly and not respond too quickly to whatever else is happening. Let someone else react with lightning speed, but you really need to cool off a little bit, Taurus, and think about the long haul and sort of gather your strength while you can. And remember that Venus is coming into your sign, and that will make you feel better. So try not to make a rash decision or a rash judgment right now, even if you do get some shocking news. Just wait a little while. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, it is very lucky that Mercury is at the 29th degree of Aquarius because it's your ruler, and so it's trining your sun. And that simply means that when there is some document or something, even a treaty or some sort of written agreement that has to be rewritten or revised, when that happens, Gemini, it could really benefit you. So I think that you do sort of luck out right now with something that has to be revised because it could be on more favorable terms for you, which would be good. And the same would be true for Libra, which is nice. But in the meantime, Gemini, I think that you are being faced with a lot of people that are being devious, and that is why you need to be really careful. The Sun and Neptune are squaring your Sun, and that means somebody's really not telling you the truth, and I think they're leaving you out of the loop. They're being evasive. They don't want you to know something that they're doing because it might not all be really nice, and it might not be legal. It could be a little shady, and so they're not telling you the whole truth. You might be better if you don't know what they're doing right now, Gemini. And also, the moon and Saturn in Sagittarius are opposing your sun sign, which means that other people are somewhat doubting your qualifications right now, or doubting the way you do things. Maybe they're not, maybe they are sort of raising the bar or raising standards right now, and maybe they are thinking that you're not quite measuring up, so you could have a little bit more homework to do as well. So this is a period of time when you two just need to wait it out a little bit right now, Gemini, and don't try to find the answers to everything right now. You won't find them in the first place because some people are hiding things right now. And I think it would be an exercise in futility for you to try to find out what's going on. So try to mind your own business this week, Gemini. You'll be safer if you do. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is simply a time when I think you're going to feel the reverberation of some noisy start that will get underway with lightning speed. I'm not so sure it's happening to you, Cancer, but those 3 planets in Aries do square your sun, and they are being, and Pluto in Capricorn is opposing your sun, and Mars and Uranus and Pluto are all at the same degree. The harshness among them is exact, and I think that the other cardinal signs, yours and Libra, are going to sort of feel the fallout from some noisy new start that begins successfully, but then when the money is promised and it isn't paid, that's going to be a different story. And so I think you need to really recede or fade back into the background and try to stay away from people who are being forceful or aggressive right now. Don't counter them no matter what. Sort of run the other way, Cancer, because you should run to safety. Everybody should try to be extra safe this week. And that is why, if you wanted to sort of hide your light under a bushel and be real quiet right now, I think that would be the smartest thing to do, because you may know a little bit more about what's going on, but now is not the time to be talking about it to anyone. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, I think you can do absolutely no wrong. And the reason why is there are 6 planets in fire signs, and that means with Jupiter in your sign that 5 other planets are harmoniously trining your sun sign. And so there can be some dynamic new beginning going on. But you know, it could be headed your way, Leo. And there are people that have a lot of confidence in you and are quite willing to back you up. That's the moon and Saturn in Sagittarius trining your sun. And that is why I don't think you can do any wrong. With Jupiter retrograding your sign, you could be having your doubts, or you may not feel as if you've got enough energy to do everything right now. But Jupiter's going to turn around and go direct next month. Then you'll certainly have the answers, but you don't even need to wait, Leo, and that is because other people have so much confidence in you, and the timing is right now for you to make some sort of new beginning with the staunch backing of really reputable people that can be supporting you. So if you get that chance to go forward, or you get an invitation, I sure hope you say yes, Leo, because even if you're not quite ready, everyone else is, and they are sort of voting for you. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when I think you need to be real quiet and real careful. And the reason why is that the Sun and Neptune in Pisces are opposing your sun sign, which means people can be secretive and very devious, and there can even be hidden enemies around. And you don't want to disturb them, do you, Virgo? So that's a good reason for you to be quiet, because somebody is deliberately withholding information from you, and it could be information that you wouldn't want to know anyway, because it could be illegal or very, very harmful. And so, you know, you should just step back right now, even if you are very good at details, and even if you can add up everything and come up with your own shrewd answers right now. I would not advertise them because the moon and Saturn in Sagittarius are squaring your sun sign, and that simply means there can be indecision or confusion around. Somebody can be getting mixed messages, and you could be getting those as well, Virgo. So this is not a time to trust a lot of other people. This is a time for you just to concentrate on solving your own problems and keep real quiet and away from other people right now, because when there is a strike of lightning, it is really going to set off some sort of firestorm, and you should not be involved. The reason why is Jupiter is right behind your sun sign, which means you have a lot of protection behind the scenes, and it also means you're more popular behind the scenes than you realize, Virgo. So this is a week when you should just stay real quiet and recede a little bit for your own safety. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when somebody can be deciding to really erupt. It could be out of anger. Perhaps they're not being paid, even though they've been promised that. And so they could decide to go after anybody that's in their path. And with those three planets in Aries, Mars, Uranus, and Venus, your own ruler, opposing your sun sign, there could be something illegal going on, and it could just erupt really, really quickly. You certainly would not want to be a part of it, Libra. You like peace and quiet, and I don't think this is going to be a peaceful week. And so this is really a good time for you to go home and close the door and stay by yourself. Plan on reading a good book or catching up on chores that you've been neglecting for a while. And so you can keep busy. Just try not to talk to too many people this week, Libra, because some of them can be very violent and erupt quite suddenly. And you do not want to be a target of that, do you? I hope not. And it is quite fortunate that Mercury in Aquarius is trining your sun, because it's at the fateful 29th degree, and that means that when something is rewritten or revised, it can benefit you. And for that reason, you need to sort of sit back and wait for favorable terms to come your way, because I think they will. And in the meantime, I would not confront anybody this week about anything, Libra. It's way too dangerous for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time with Mars and Pluto, your rulers, being in exact harsh square, and Uranus being involved in that too, that I do not think that you are willing to part with money for anybody right now. Even if it's been promised, you can be feeling like sort of keeping your hands in your pockets right now. And I think that's a good idea, Scorpio, because there could be something really wrong with a new start that starts with lightning speed right now. And it's like it could be going up or even blowing up, but there's always going to be an aftermath. There's always going to be some sort of end result, and all of that is going to cost money, and no one knows how much right now. And so there can be mixed messages. If somebody is getting a green light, it's somebody else. I don't think it's you, Scorpio. So I think you need to just stand back and be real quiet. With the Sun and Neptune in Pisces trining your Sun, I think you know a little bit more about what's going on than you are telling people, and that's fine. In fact, you can know a lot about what's going on, but this is not the time to advertise even that you are aware of anything. So I sort of hope you keep your head down right now, Scorpio, and keep your hands in your pocket. This is not the right time to give money to anybody, so don't do that. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, I hope that you are not too confused this week, but you might be, and that is because the Sun and Neptune in Pisces are squaring the Moon and Saturn in your own sign. And so there can be confusion or mixed messages. And that is why I think that this is not a good week for you to make some sort of final decision. I hope that you put that off a little bit longer, because you could be operating on information that is incomplete or is in error. And so that's why you need to sort of slow down and check everything. I don't think you are going to slow down too much right now, Sagittarius, because there are 6 planets in fire signs all trining each other. So this would be an excellent time for you to go on a trip. Or since both the moon and Saturn are in your sign, it means that parents and men and women are trying to seek a higher path. They may be wanting to more closely align themselves with a higher philosophy or with religious values. That would be a good thing for you to do, Sagittarius. But still, try not to make a decision this week because I don't think you've got all the right information right now. So wait a while if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when I think you're really up against it. And that is because Pluto in your sign is being squared harshly and exactly by Mars and Uranus, and Venus also is in Aries. And so there you are, Capricorn, trying to sort of do the right thing and trying to keep high standards and understanding that, yes, you do need to follow all the rules and regulations, and someone else can react with lightning speed and really try to override you right now. And I think that they could succeed at that, but not for long. And that is because Pluto in your sign is squaring Mars, and that simply means there isn't going to be money around, particularly not from you, Capricorn. You are not going to pay for somebody who is not willing to follow the rules or do things in a constructive way right now. Instead, the aspects indicate some sort of destruction. Remember, I said that the mob could turn against its master. So this is a week when you need to protect yourself a little bit, Capricorn, and try to keep as quiet as you can, because you could be really right about something, but this may not be the week to exert that. And so I think that if you could be tactful and you could withdraw a little bit right now, you would save yourself a lot of grief. You know, just live for a better day, because you're still going to have a great year in the fall when Jupiter trines your sun as it goes into Virgo. But right now, you could be under attack, and that's why you've got to protect yourself, Capricorn. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is simply a time with Mercury at the 29th degree in your sign that you could be sort of at a last-minute fateful turn in the road. And it does mean that something's going to have to be revised, that there is a form of communication or something that is written or some sort of deal that is agreed on that is going to need revision. But it can make your future even better. Just think of it that way, Aquarius. And so, you know, be prepared for some sort of change. And it is your ruler, Uranus, that is conjuncting Mars and being squared by Pluto. So you could be subject to some sort of sudden lightning speed change right now, Aquarius. That's why you need to be real careful and as quiet as you can be, because you would be affected by some sort of eruption right now or some sort of anger that someone else has. It would affect you in one way or another, and that's why you need to be as quiet as you can be. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, there is certainly a lot going on right ahead of you in your life, and that is because Mars, Uranus, and Venus are all in Aries right ahead of your sun sign, and you have Neptune in your sun sign along with the sun. And so that simply means, Pisces, that there, with the enlightenment that you have, or with the hunches that you have about something, you can suspect what is wrong, and you can see somebody reacting somewhat violently in front of you, but that doesn't mean you should jump in and try to save anybody right now, Pisces. Yours is a very charitable sign, but this is a time when, first of all, there isn't going to be any money around, not even for good deeds, much less bad deeds. And so this is a time when you really need to step back and pretty much say nothing or pretend you don't see anything right now, Pisces. That could be for your own safety, because I think that this can be a time when the mob turns against its master, when something very violent can happen, and you don't want it happening to you, do you, Pisces? This is why you should sort of pretend that you don't see anything and try to look the other way right now for your own protection. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.